Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host, Kyle Wallace, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. You can call in, text in at 833-212-1017. Again, that is 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk and text line. You can also watch and stream us live on the YouTubes by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. You can give us a like. You can give us a share. You can give us a subscribe so you don't miss any of your favorite awards. I was excited for the Packer game on Sunday, and I'm still a Packer backer. That's why I'm still repping the G, because that's what I represent, the G, to the day I die. But I will say it was quite disappointing having the game in the way that it did. Now, I guess I'm going through my annual January tradition with my Packers. We make the playoffs. I get excited. We win a game, maybe two, and then we end up losing. And then I go through this moment of, here we go again. This loss really stinks. We were up 18 points in the first half. We were up 11 points at some point, or 15 going into the fourth quarter, up 13 points at under 7 minutes left to go, and somehow found a way to lose because our field goal kicker sucks. I knew he missed that extra point. I said, Matter of fact, at halftime when he missed the field goal, he made the field goal, but they called the timeout. But when he missed that field goal from 55 yards, I literally said to my lady's dad, I said, "Oh, that's not good." I said, I like 24-6. I ain't really like 24. I guess we're up 11, but I ain't really like I like 21-6. I wanted 24-6. That one made me feel a lot better, or 3, whatever it was. But unbelievable. As I'm watching highlights right now. But anyways, now everybody's talking about firing the head coach, which I think is up to you. I think it's justified if you want to fire the head coach. I'm not with that. But if you do have any thoughts on the Green Bay Packers loss, if you think they should fire the coach, or, it was a punch in the gut losing to the Bears like that, 833-212-1017. Should the Packers fire Matt LaFleur? Should he take all the blame for the loss on Saturday? Should the head coach get the axe? Should he be gone? You can call in on that throughout the show. I don't do sports like that on this show. Rhea, I don't talk sports on here very often, do I?
Every once in a blue moon.
Yeah, ain't a lot of blue moons in a year.
Okay.
But if you do want to chime in on that, should we fire the coach, Matt LaFleur, go ahead, 833-212-1017. I don't believe we should fire Matt LaFleur. I don't think the grass is always green on the other side. I say give the man one more year. Give him his little contract extension, because you can fire anybody anytime. Who cares? You give him a 2-year extension, that doesn't matter. 3 years, it doesn't matter. You can fire him. None of that matters. But 833-212-1017. If you have any thoughts about the Green Bay Packers. Oh, wow, that's a quick poll. Y'all move quick fingers. Y'all love to rub it in, huh? I'll be asked for poll. I'll be asked for all type of stuff all the time. Somehow this poll is up here quick and getting votes. Should the Packers fire Matt LaFleur? 833-212-1017. Again, I am one who believes that Matt LaFleur should not be fired. The loss is on him and the kicker, if you ask me. And also my boy Jordan Love, who balled out, but you can't have those 3 announced like you did in the second half. But again, 833-212-1017. If you want to chime in on the Packers and if they should fire Matt LaFleur. But with that being said, Truth Nation, and my producers on the phone talking to somebody, they want to get on.
They would like to speak about the Packer game. Yes.
Okay, what were they talking your ear off for?
I couldn't hear them, so.
Oh, I'm going to say, I was about to go to my weekend recap. But with that being said, I don't even know who this is, but we're going to just. Brian in Milwaukee. Thank you, Brian in Milwaukee. Thanks for being on Truth to Power. What are your thoughts on the Green Bay Packers' devastating, sorry loss against the Bears if they were up 18 points at halftime?
Considering the fact that they played in Chicago, and considering the fact that we played a hell of a game, I mean, we put together some great plays in that game. Those are some great calls by Matt LaFleur. That win for Chicago was an act of God.
They had
that
two
had
extra
nothing
guys.
to do with the Packers' talent. That had nothing to do with the Packers' talent. Who gets a 4th and 8 for 37 yards? Only an
Falling
act.
back,
That was
right.
not something that's going to actually happen. That Taylor Williams is just,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah, he's a roller coaster. He's talented, but boy, he has his ups and his downs.
But he had the luck of the Irish on his side that game. So I
He is
wouldn't say
light-skinned.
anything.
He might be a little Irish.
But I wouldn't say that was anything structural as far as coaching from the team.
I mean, they
Our
had
team
five.
played as good as
They had. I mean, Brian, they had 5 games this year where they were up 9 points or more in the second half, and they ended up losing 5 games. So all 5 of those games. That's pretty
well.
bad.
We're not talking about those. I'm only talking about this particular game,
I like that,
and
Brian.
I think he should be fired.
I like that, Brian. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with Brian. I don't think he should be fired. I do believe he should take the blame, and I'm not going to get too in-depth because there's no reason for me to go deep. I think it's as easy as surface level. Should Matt LaFleur be fired for the Packers losing? The Packers haven't won a Super Bowl in 15 years, and the earliest they can win one is next year, which will be 16 years. 15 years ago, I was a young man. Now I'm aging. My eyes getting worse. I'll be tired. It's a big Zach, 15 years ago, Zach was still in diapers. It's crazy what can change in 15 years. But 833-212-1017. If you have any thoughts on Green Bay Packers, terrible loss on Sunday, you can always call in, text in at 833-212-1017. Or you can go to the poll. There's a poll on YouTube. Should the Packers fire Matt LaFleur? Let me see what y'all are talking about here. I'm going to vote no, because I don't believe so. It's 50-50. A lot of y'all want to fire people. Let me see what y'all are talking about here. Kawanda on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. And y'all can always watch and stream us live on YouTube. Kawanda said, disappointed overall, but forever a cheesehead. So football season is officially over for me until the Super Bowl. Fire the kicker. Dang right. Fire the kicker. Mfridge 414 Milwaukee said, Matt LaFleur too passive aggressive. We need half of your Harbaugh. All right now, John Harbaugh, the former coach of the Ravens. Also said Bears were not supposed to win these last 2 games. They weren't supposed to. Not really a city girl. Said the Bears won. Yeah, they came back and won. Somebody said the only person that needs to be fired is the kicker. I agree. And then somebody not really a city girl said Tori gonna be upset. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell y'all my story about the Packers. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it now, and then we're gonna do the weekend recap on the other side. And so we hosted my ladies. I call her baby girl. Her family for the Packer game because they had and now it wasn't for the Packer game, but it was a holiday party. They have once a year they have a holiday party after the holidays because everybody kind of does their own thing for Christmas, and then so after Christmas they come and they, do a holiday party together. And so we hosted her family for this holiday party. And it started at 3 p.m. Now, this party was planned before the Packer game happened. So it just so happened to fall on the same day. Now, I was upset because I said I wasn't watching the Packer game with nobody else for the rest of the year. I was good on that. I was going to watch it by myself. And then this Packer game got scheduled for this day, and I knew I was in trouble. Now, the party started at 3, and I was hoping everybody going to be out by 7, but it turned into a Packer party. And I knew, listen, I was hoping people were going to be gone by that time, but I knew it was a problem because not once in the text message chain did we ever say wear Packer gear. Not once did we say, oh, yeah, it's going to be a Packer. Not once. But when 95% of the folks that showed up had on Packer gear, I said, uh-oh. I said, these folks, they going to eat and they going to stay. Because they wore their Packer jerseys like they finna watch the game over here. And that was not part of, not once was the messaging, go ahead and stay and watch the Packer game. That wasn't it. Now, I'm all about family time. I am. But I'm also about my personal Packer watching time. I remember back in 2011 when I was home from college. I remember being upstairs in my bedroom watching the Packer game while my family and friends were downstairs watching the game. I said, no, I'm watching it right here. I want to be around people. I want to be right here watching my Packers. I like to watch the Packers alone. I don't like doing all that extra stuff. I can go to my parents' house and watch the Packers because it's nostalgic. But I don't like being around folks for the Packer game. You ain't never heard me ever say, hey, y'all want to have a Packer party? No, not me. Not me. Now, in addition, I couldn't really watch the game in peace. And let me tell y'all, there was kids all around, just little girls all around. And I'm not used to girls in the family. Like those girls, they couldn't care any less about the game whatsoever. And I come from a family full of boys. I come from a family full of boys where all boys they watch the game, they do a little bumping and jumping, and they move on. Girls is different. They're very, very different. There's about 5 little girls at the house, all under the age of 8. Maybe 4. 4, I don't know. It seemed like 5. It might have been 4. There's a whole bunch of them. And let me tell you, when I say I was so distracted trying to watch the game, they was in the basement watching the game. I was in my little den place trying to watch the game, and people wanted to come around me. When I say I was being drawn on with eyeliner or lipstick, whatever it was, the lip gloss, one of the little girls, I get up to go get some. I come back, and I don't even drink during the game, but somebody wanted to make me a drink during the game, so I'm like, okay, well, I guess. And the game started off good, so I could take a little sip of that old-fashioned. I leave and I come back and this little girl just giggling. I said, what you giggling for? She said, is that your drink? I said, indeed it is. She said, are you going to drink it? You want to drink it? I said, sure. Why not? So I went and took my little sip of my drink. I sat it down. She just started giggling. She said, ah! I said, oh, what's so funny? Did you look inside of it? I said, no. I looked, damn popcorn in my drink. The girl put her nasty, grubby hands, and the crazy thing is that I saw her licking her fingers earlier, so I know she done licked it. I know she had been eating the popcorn, licked her fingers, grabbed the popcorn, and put it in my drink. Now I done drank this girl's saliva. And then all of a sudden, I'm trying to watch the game, and the girls just, telling on each other. She did that. I'm just like, listen, y'all family. Y'all got to love each other. Y'all, I said, because I don't do all the tattle. I just listen. It's okay. Go love each other. That's what you do. Having emotional breakdowns, and then some other boy was here. He family, but he's somebody's boyfriend's son. But he saw himself being a Vikings fan, wanted to cheer for the Bears, and so he decided since the Bears was losing, he was gonna switch up what room he was gonna be and be around me. And so he's sitting there with me trying to watch the game. And, I was like, okay, he doing a little talking. I'm not trying to engage with an 11-year-old, but you doing a little bit too much talking. And then he started talking as the Bears started coming back. And I told him straight up, I said, listen, kid, you got to get up out of here. You're going to have to go back downstairs. I can't have you over here. I said, you got to go. Yeah, hell yeah, I kicked his ass out. Sure did. Told me you got to get up out of here. I said, hey, yeah, you're going to have to get up out of here. He going to go downstairs talking about, yeah, he kicked me out. I sure did. They going to learn today. Kyle don't play. So the moral of this story is this. Yes, my team lost. I was upset about my team losing. But the moral story is I learned something on Saturday. You know what I learned on Saturday, Rhea? In Truth Nation.
What'd you learn?
I'm not prepared to have girls.
Yep.
I'm not prepared to be outnumbered. Okay? Maybe, maybe the Lord bless me with 2 or 3 kids, whatever it is. If it's all girls plus my future wife, that's 4 against 1 or 3 against 1, and I'm just not prepared for it, okay? I love my partner. I love her. I do. But y'all know women have their moments. They have their moments. Men have our moments, but women have their moments. And, when women have their moments, it is what it is. Now, multiply that by 3 or 4, oh, hell, I realize that I am not built for that. I'm not built to have all girls. So if I do have all girls, and if I'm still blessed to have this show, why I'm stressed out and why I'm working late is because I just don't want to be around it. I don't want to be around all the extra stuff. They're needy. They're very needy.
You did not just say that.
Yeah, Rhea,
that's so sad.
When I say girls are so, boys hang off their mamas. Girls hang off their daddies. They want the attention, which is beautiful. It is. It's just, ooh.
Okay, then get your child into sports. Let her like football.
When I say they was painting on me in the middle of the game, just drawing. They just want to be loved and needed, and they didn't care about the game. They weren't watching.
Here you go.
And I'm just
my face.
No, I didn't say that. I did not say that to the little girls because I'm a sucker for little girls in the sense of whatever they want, I get. I don't want nobody drawing on me, but I'm like, just draw. You do what you got to do.
That's all it takes.
You know, if a little boy put popcorn in my drink, I would have snapped on him.
Oh, my goodness.
But a little girl, I can't snap on a girl.
Let the kids just be kids.
In my drink? Why would you do that?
You just explain it to them, so that's not very nice, and then keep the day going.
I was trying to watch the game. So the moral story is I ain't ready for girls.
Hey, who's the big kid here?
Big kid here? What do you mean big kid here?
You sound like a kid. I just want to watch my game.
I just want to watch the Packers. I didn't invite nobody over for the Packer game. I invited them over for a holiday party. Holiday party ended at 7. I'm telling you, Rhea, when I saw them come to my house with all the Packers jerseys on, I said, dang. Them folks didn't leave my house at 12:30 at night.
Yeah.
I was like, boy, y'all know how to get down. Y'all know how to get down. I had to go to bed on about 1. I said, all right, well, there's still a couple folks left. I said, I'm going to bed. But 833-212-1017 on the other side, Truth Nation. I'm going to give y'all the weekend recap. We're going to go through that, and also we're going to talk about some measles outbreaks happening across the U.S. It's Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. Keep it live because we got more conversation on the other side.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Milwaukee Black Talk.
You don't want to be there. You don't like the work. You don't like the people. Now, there are some differences. The only difference is modern American slavery and capitalism versus 19th century. We were dramatically more primitive back then. And a slave that is able to buy their freedom is the same as the disaffected, disgruntled worker that is able to buy their way into entrepreneurship because that for them is freedom.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Here's a dose of reality. Driving under the influence of prescription painkillers is just as illegal and just as deadly as driving drunk. In fact, there are nearly 2,000 drug-related crashes every year in Wisconsin. Help prevent drugged driving, and let's achieve 0 preventable deaths on Wisconsin roadways. Driving on pills kills. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Departments of Health Services, Transportation, and Justice.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
This is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
New year, new mattress. Start 2026 off feeling rested and make an impact while you do it at Steinhoffel's. Peep this, y'all. I love this. All January, stop by Steinhoffel's and test rest any mattress. For every test rest, they will donate $20 to Special Spaces Wisconsin, which is a nonprofit creating dream bedrooms for children with cancer. And just for trying a mattress, you'll get a $20 lunch gift card. I did this last year. It was fantastic. I'm going to do it again because I just want to make sure we can donate money to Special Spaces Wisconsin, because we all know how much of a struggle it is when you're battling through a disease like cancer, and especially when it has to do with children. And bringing a smile to a child's face to bring them a dream bedroom is definitely worth your time. So make sure you go to Steinhoffel's and test rest. You may end up buying a mattress, because I promise you'll love the mattress that you lay on, but definitely do it for a great cost by going to Steinhoffel's. And you can get a $20 lunch gift card. But I'm telling y'all, a better night's sleep and a chance to help make a child's dream bedroom come true happens at Steinhoffel's. And you can find all the different great selection that they have of different furniture that they have at Steinhoffel's. The January Test Rest event is only at Steinhoffel's, so visit them today. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm your host, Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talking text line. You can call in, you can text in if you have any thoughts on today's conversation. But with that being said, Truth Nation, I'm about to hit y'all with the weekend recap.
Truth Nation, we know you have a busy life and the weekend went by too fast. If you missed any of the headline stories, no worries. We got you covered on the top stories you may have missed. Tap in for the weekend recap on Truth to Power. Kyle, tell Truth Nation the biggest headlines they need to know.
Well, Truth Nation, Wisconsin couldn't buck the national trend of all the job losses that we had in 2025. Now, overall, Wisconsin as a state, we did see a decrease in job gains from the previous year, but all in all, Wisconsin only gained 65,700 less jobs than it did last year, and also the unemployment rate stayed steady. So that is at least a positive that we can get. Much of the losses were in the government field, retail, and manufacturing sectors. Despite that unemployment being at a historic low, we still, as a state, need to find ways that we can increase the number of jobs that we were having so we can continue to, boost our economy. And to be honest, the fact that we kept unemployment pretty low at 3.1% is a good sign for Tony Evers and a good sign for the Democratic Party going into the 2026 election in the state. And Tony Evers will probably leave with rather, 50, probably like 40-some%. He'll be above water when it comes to his favorability, which will be good when he ends up endorsing whoever the nominee is for the Democratic Party. And there's one less thing that they'll be able to be attacked on, as Tom Tiffany will probably end up getting the Republican nomination. But one thing I will say is overall it'll be very hard for states in this country to gain more jobs in a year like last year that just saw so much turmoil and so much, uncertainty. And when you're dealing with inconsistent decisions being made at the top and policies that are ever changing, it causes companies to be a little unsettled, and they become super conservative and more pessimistic when it comes to projecting for the future, and they prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And when you prepare for the worst and you hope for the best, that means you're slashing to make sure that you're going to put the business on positive ground moving forward. And last Friday, they quietly released the job data information. I don't know if anybody saw this or not. There's so much going on that the job information for the month of December did come out, and it painted more of a blah picture about the economy. Nothing to get excited about, as we ended up having our worst year of job growth since the pandemic. In 2024, we gained 2 million jobs. So last year, the final year of Joe Biden, we gained 2 million jobs. In 2025, currently sit at a total gain of 584,000 jobs. Now, there may be some more revisions coming, which may typically what we see is a trend of revising down. So we may see that 584,000 jobs that we gained in the United States of America last year actually revised down. That's no bueno, especially when you've seen job growth in the millions for multiple years. To see yourself go down to less than 1 million jobs gained, only 584,000 jobs gained in a year, that's a bad sign. So it's going to be a pinnacle year here for us. And looking at black unemployment, it currently stands at 7.5%, which is up 2.5% from the record lows that we saw during the Biden administration, up over 1% than what it was a year ago as well. So I'm just food for thought. I think that this is just important information for us to know, and I think it's always important for us to know what's happening here locally, but also nationally when it comes to jobs. Overall, for 2026, we need a better economy in 2026. Socially, I've given up on 2026. This year is going to be a complete and utter disaster. Just tell you that now. 2026, you can write it off as socially it's going to be crazy, because it's already just been a lot of stuff being thrown at us, and it's only January, and then once election stuff comes, it's going to be nonsense. There's always going to be something. And so this is going to be a year of craziness. But if we can get this country trending in the right direction economically, that will be, a nice silver lining for us to have some hope. But right now, you can't have all the social unrest and all the folks feeling just uncomfortable right now socially, and then you compound that with the economic stress that we saw in the year 2025. So hopefully, I may not be a fan of the administration, but I'm a fan of America thriving and our economy. And the stock market is great, but the stock market only impacts so many people, like for real. A lot of people have the retirement 401ks and different things in there. It doesn't impact people on a day-to-day basis where they can just pull their money out. So I think it's just so important for us to understand that, wages are going up, consistently continue to go up, but the jobs need to be there for people to have the jobs. And also we need to be prepared for what's going to come with AI, because AI is negatively going to impact the job market, especially when you're talking about in the finance field. That's something to keep an eye out for, is the finance field, because when folks in finance realize that AI can do that job for them, you can, instead of having 5 advisors, you only need 2. That's when people are going to be really up in arms, because them finance folks make a lot of money. Next one on the story is no more legal weed. Listen, y'all know I don't smoke if the weeds. I don't blow that bag. I don't blow it down. I don't hit the blunt. Do they still smoke joints? Hit the vape pen? What else do they do, Rhea?
Dabs. Oh.
Hit them with the dab.
Oh, hit it one more time. See. Yeah. Okay.
Hurt my damn back trying to hit the dab. Dead serious. My back hurts. But Truth Nation, I don't do the gummies either, but I don't care whether people choose to do it or not. That is a choice, your own choice. Just as long as you're not harming or endangering people, I don't really care what y'all do. But I will say this, an industry which has been surging as of late since 2018 has been the hemp industry, and the derivative that comes from hemp, which is THC. That's been really strongly growing, and that business boom was led by the fact that there was a loophole in the 2018 bill that was pushing for more farmers to grow hemp. And so from that, farmers were able to grow hemp, and there was this booming industry of the derivative that comes from hemp, a little bit of THC, and it was enough to put in a product that people enjoy. So we saw a surge in products, the Delta 8 products that we talk about, like gummies, chocolates, brownies, infused snacks, vapes, pre-rolls, and THC drinks, which are really starting to take off. They're really starting to explode. Because what y'all got to understand with these THC drinks, they're becoming more acceptable. So people from 21 all the way to 81, it's like, take a little of that THC drink. And so those are really starting to explode. But due to the shutdown bill that we just had, the federal bill that just was passed, all that is coming to an end because they closed the loopholes which would ban unregulated sale of intoxicating hemp-based or hemp-derived products. So what that means, Truth Nation, that if Wisconsin does not pass a bill on how to regulate hemp-derived products, say bye-bye to all your THC gummies, vapes, and drinks. This will be something to watch the first half of 2026, because this is, listen, some people hit the blunt, THC, just because of stress and anxiety, just to take the edge off. And I ain't mad at that. Whatever your vice is, man, do your thing. But it's going to hurt people in the sense of not being able to have access to it. But more importantly for me, I look on the business side. This is a booming business, and it's going to hurt businesses, and it's going to hurt people if this industry all of a sudden gets banned just like that. So that's something to look out for those who like to do the Delta 8s. And lastly, Truth Nation, we made it a week. You know what? I'm actually say this one for tomorrow. I'm running short on time. So Rhea, remind me, just say made it a week. We'll talk about this tomorrow. But this is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth, and that was your weekend recap here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Now, when we come back on the other side, there was some other bit of news that came out that had to do with the recommendations from the CDC on vaccinations. Now, I'm not a guy that gets too deep into vaccinations, but I can read and I can do research. But I'm going to talk about on the other side about the CDC reducing some of the recommendations that they have at birth for kids. And I want to know from y'all, Truth Nation, are you for that? Do you feel like them reducing some of the recommendations for children at birth to be getting shots from 17 down to 11, do you think that makes for a healthier America? Do you think that makes for the classrooms to be safer? 833-212-1017. I'll give a breakdown of this on the other side. It's Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. On the other side, we're going to talk about that vaccination. Wait a minute. You don't have, they hit your arm before they vaccinate you. Or maybe the vaccination is here. Okay. I don't know. I don't do all them drugs. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. Keep it locked.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
Elevate your game day gear or any outfit with official merchandise from the Milwaukee Bucks Pro Shop. From authentic jerseys to exclusive apparel and accessories, the Bucks Pro Shop has everything you need to showcase your fandom wherever you go. Cheer the Deer to victory with authentic Milwaukee Bucks items. Visit us at the Bucks Pro Shop at Fiserv Forum or Bayshore Mall, or shop online at shop.bucks.com.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Truth Nation, it's time once again to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community at the second annual Truth Community Awards happening Friday, February 20th at Venue 3 inside the 3rd Street Market Hall in downtown Milwaukee. This awards show will be honoring the unsung heroes who show up, give back, and make a positive impact in our community every single day. We're rolling out the red carpet and showing love to those who truly deserve it. Tickets go on sale Monday, January 12th and are just $20 and include free food and exclusive Truth giveaways. Join the 1017 The Truth team for an unforgettable night of entertainment, inspiration, and community pride at the second annual Truth Community Awards on Friday, February 20th at Venue 3 in Milwaukee. The Truth Community Awards are sponsored by Gruber Law Offices, Steinhoffels, Milwaukee College Prep, Cousins Subs, Venue 3 at the 3rd Street Market Hall, and the Milwaukee Bucks.
This Associated Bank Sports Center update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Andrew Zimmel. The 16-21 Milwaukee Bucks are back in action tonight, taking on the Los Angeles Lakers on the road. The Bucks are looking to bounce back after a tough loss to Golden State on Wednesday night. The Milwaukee Panthers play host to Northern Kentucky Norse tonight. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. on 1017 The Truth. In a Big East matchup, the Marquette Golden Eagles take on Villanova at the Pfizer Forum at 1:30 p.m. on Saturday. And the Green Bay Packers and Chicago Bears square off Saturday at Soldier Field. 7 p.m. kickoff in the wild card round. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur on what the difference maker will be for the Packers.
Every play is so valuable, so critical. There's no wasted plays. And then I think ultimately what it comes down to is your ability to execute.
This True Sports Update was brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
It is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
American Family Insurance is proud to sponsor the award-winning 1017 The Truth. And since 1927, they've been committed to making life better with the right home and auto protection. Also, you're free to enjoy your dreams. So always remember to insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Visit amfam.com today to find an agent near you or to get a quote instantly online. That is amfam.com today. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Make sure y'all watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a like, give us a share, and give us a subscribe as well. You can also download the award-winning 1017 The Truth app. Make sure y'all go ahead and download them streams so you don't miss any of your favorite award-winning 1017 The Truth shows, especially Truth to Power. But Truth Nation, recently my family and I, we had a spirited conversation on vaccines. And like any family, there's a differing of opinions and views, as you always should have, right, on what we should do. And recently, the Trump administration announced changes to the recommended childhood vaccination schedule. They were, like I said before, originally there were 17 vaccinations that were recommended by the CDC at birth. and now it's down to 11. The 6 which were removed, which I got to make sure I get this correct, was the flu, so influenza, the rotavirus, which is a stomach bug that causes severe diarrhea, fever, and vomiting in infants, the meningococcal, I practiced it.
Sound it out.
Meningococcal, that's a tough one, which is a serious bacterial infection, and Hep A and Hep B and RSV, which we know how serious that can be. Those were the 6 that they removed. These are no longer recommended, and they're only recommended for children that have, high risks, and they're part of high risk groups, which it is what it is. Again, I am not one. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know. So you just have to, quote unquote, trust what the CDC is doing. But listen, without me being a vaccine guru, I can do my own research. All right, I won't act like a guru. And remember, I am very pro-choice and families being able to make whatever decisions that they want to make. I don't believe you should be able to force people to do things that they do not want to do. So you can make your own decisions. I'm consistent with that. Remember that. I'm not one to tell people that you got to get rid of your gun, because even though I don't like guns and I think guns are unsafe and they cause death here in this country, I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell a woman to get an abortion because I can't tell her what to do. I can't tell a woman not to get an abortion because that's not my body. Just like I can't tell another family that they need to get vaccinated. That's not what I'm here to do. I can only do what I want with mines. But what I do know is facts are facts. And when it comes to hepatitis B specifically, since 1991, the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention has recommended all babies get a dose of hepatitis B vaccine at birth. Now, since that time, we have seen a 99% reduction in babies getting hepatitis B. I want to repeat that for those who are anti-vaxxers or against vaccines. There has been a 99% reduction in babies getting hepatitis B, and in 2019, it was reported by WHO, the World Health Organization, that they marked a huge milestone that the chronic HBV infection in children under 5 dropped below 1% due to the vaccination efforts worldwide. So to me, when I hear stuff like that, when I hear that there was a reduction of 99% in Hep B inside of children, I think that's a positive thing. I don't think anybody should be upset about that, because hepatitis B can be sickening and can kill children. Now, in addition to that, RSV is another thing in the 60s and the 80s that was extremely dangerous for infants, but because of research and because of science, many more children are able to survive RSV. So the conclusion that I should draw, and the conclusion I think many of us should draw, is that vaccines work. But the problem is facts don't matter to some people. And that's what bothers me. And with the breaking news coming down towards the end of last year, where the CDC committee that helped set vaccine policy voted to overturn the recommendation that infants need to get Hep B shots at birth, I was a little stunned by that. Because when I hear that something has worked so well over the last 30 plus years, that it has been reduced to 99%, that is, to me, is a positive thing, because now you're giving kids are more healthy at birth. And now, to be very transparent, they're not telling people not to get the hepatitis B. They're saying it's up to you, and they're recommending it not happen at birth anymore. It's up to a family to decide. So they're not completely saying, oh, we're not doing that, because that would be foolish and that would be malpractice. But my issue that I do have with this is that we have to understand the times that we are living in, where there is a lot of mistrust of the government on both sides and everywhere. And whenever you say that, you don't need to have this, what that creates is it puts doubt in people's mind. And I think it's very dangerous to put doubt in people's mind or give people a talking point that they don't have all the facts on, so they're going to go in there and say, oh, the government said you don't need to get the hepatitis B shot for babies, when that's not 100% accurate, where now they're saying you don't need to get it at birth, and it said if you're going to do it, you should do it after 2 months. And so I think that's dangerous for people to go down, because all that does is it endangers thousands and thousands of children. And hepatitis B can be asymptomatic, which means that kids can be born with it and you don't even know that they have it, and that can be extremely devastating. So I just felt like it's so important for us to have a conversation about this. And to simplify it, just think about, because Hep B is something that we don't talk about because you have a vaccine for it, and again, 99% reduction since 1991, which is a positive. But to make it so simple, I want to talk about RSV, because RSV is something that goes around now. and something that parents are very scared of if their child gets it. If your child gets RSV, a lot of parents will take their children to the hospital because of how dangerous it is. And I want y'all to understand that hepatitis B was much worse than RSV. So I would recommend y'all do your own research when it comes to this. If you are a parent, I think it's important that you do your own research and take what the CDC says with a grain of salt at this moment in time, because you and your families are the only ones who are going to be negatively impacted with this. There's going to be no accountability, because there never is accountability when people tell you to do certain things. It will be you and your family that will be in the hospital, not the CDC. These are the same people who told you not to get the measles shot, and then an outbreak occurred and people realized the importance of it. I just need y'all to understand that. And I want to share an example of why science should matter and why we should trust research. Again, when it comes to the COVID shot, that's a whole different thing. I didn't want to get the COVID shot. I got the J&J, the one and done. I ain't got a shot since. Haven't got it since, because I wasn't one that really was for that. But I do want to share an example of why science should matter and why you should trust years of research. Gaines County in Texas has a low vaccination rate. And someone who had the measles came into that Gaines County, Texas community, and it caused for an outbreak, which was the biggest in 35 years. In Truth Nation, we saw 762 people infected in the state of Texas. We saw 99 people who were hospitalized from this, and we saw 2 children lose their lives because of this. That is the first time that children have lost their lives due to an outbreak of measles since 2015. Both of those children were unvaccinated, and the problem that we have with that is that this thing spreads like wildfire, and what may start in a little western county of Texas in Gaines County, the outbreak led to outbreaks going into 3 other states during that time of last year. See, this is tragic, and it's preventable. We have to make sure that we use history to help us make decisions for the future. And like I said before, I am not an expert on vaccinations, but there are people who are experts, and I can read data and information. And anytime 99% of something is eradicated or prevented, that to me is a good thing. If Rhea, if they told you 99% of the time the answer is going to be A, would you pick A every time?
Yeah.
Because that's just common sense. We have to stop letting our political beliefs get in the way of this. If your religious belief gets in the way of it, that is on you. But when you have a community where children died, I think you should rethink that. Just my recommendation. But 833-212-1017. For those who vaccinate your kids, do you get bothered or annoyed when you hear other folks aren't vaccinating their kids? Because I know for me, if I hope the school that I send my children to one day, Lord willing, I hope every kid got to get all their little immunizations. I hope they got, because here's the thing, is that yes, some people say, well, if your kid's vaccinated, they should be fine. No, that's right. If my kid's vaccinated, they'll be able to fight better against this. But I don't want my kid suffering and struggling to breathe. I don't want my kid to suffer and struggle. I don't want my kid to have chest pains. I don't want my kid coughing up. I don't want my kid to have to suffer. So yes, getting a vaccine will help my kid recover, but I'll be damned if you send your little unvaccinated child to school with some disease and my kid got to get sick. I got to miss time from school, but more importantly, the kids have to suffer. But 833-212-1017. Is it dangerous for kids coming to school unvaccinated? 833-212-1017. What are your thoughts on this conversation? Alan Sherman Park, what are your thoughts on vaccines?
Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Al.
You gave worldwide figures. I think the vaccine has to make sense for the risk, like, for instance, Ebola or malaria or Hep B. Now, if you're in India and you're walking through open sewers, Hep B, I would definitely give to my child. If you're in Africa and Ebola's running wild, yes, I would definitely give my child Ebola. But the vaccines just got to make sense for the risk versus, the side effects of the vaccines as well. And then we tend to give vaccines in groups, especially these babies. They'll come in, they'll get 2 to 4 vaccines, every couple of months, their first year of life. Maybe some of them might not be so necessary or age appropriate. I don't know if Hep B is so necessary with a baby. Now, once they go to preschool, maybe by preschool age.
But babies can be infected with Hep B because before they started giving it to everybody, I know a lot of babies were struggling with Hep B.
Again, I said it depends on the risk. Like I said, if you're walking through open cesspools and playing in poop and blood, yeah, get that Hep B.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate you, Al. 833-212-1017. Al in Milwaukee, what are your comments and thoughts on vaccines?
Well, if you don't want to give your kids vaccines, then when your kid dies, that parent can be the blame. Because when kids was dying from hepatitis from the mouth, it was probably because them newborn babies didn't have a vaccine. So for those people who don't want to give their kids vaccine and they feel God is the healer, when your baby drop dead and it's maggot food and maggot protein when it's 6 feet in the ground, the only person you can blame is your goddamn self, because I don't want to catch nothing from you. And some of the people who speak against vaccines will sleep with a man and woman unprotected and still catch some sugar honey iced tea in the crack of their ass, okay? And some of that stuff they don't got no cure. Have a great day.
You have a great day as well, Al. 833-212-1017. Just talking about vaccines and the fact that now at this point the CDC is not recommending children. They have reduced the number of vaccinations. They still have 11 on the list, but at birth, they're not recommending all 17 that they used to have. Some of those is hepatitis A and hepatitis B. The big reason with hepatitis is the fact that before 1991, it wasn't mandated for all children to get it at birth. And by mandating it, we saw childhood hepatitis be reduced by 99%. And due to research, they said preventing about 500,000 infections and more than 90,000 deaths. That is a good thing. But 833-212-1017. We'll wrap up and continue this conversation on the other side. I want to talk about some of the outbreaks that have happened in this country that were avoidable if folks just would get vaccinated.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Never miss a moment of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on the new 1017 The Truth.
You know who's responsible for those kids' safety? Everybody at Waterford High School. The police, the law, decency, morality is responsible for those kids' safety. Had the Rufus King High School students been physically attacked, that's not the fault of the coach. That's blaming the victim. Come on, you know better than that. It would be the fault of the attacker.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Since 1976, Community Advocates has helped Milwaukee residents meet their basic needs, enabling them to live with dignity and hope. Today, Community Advocates offer 40 specialized programs that addresses rental housing challenges, energy assistance, domestic violence, substance misuse, and more. Their commitment is to ensure individuals and families have access to essential resources and opportunities for a better quality of life. If you need help, go to communityadvocates.net. That's communityadvocates.net.
Dad's gonna be far side, good.
What should I do with my dress?
Do little wiggles. The slate's coming in.
What does it feel like when you're down or having a bad day?
It feels sad, like you just don't want to do anything.
All my little emotions in my head is just running crazy. I don't know what to do.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed supporting kids' mental health?
I had never experienced players being so down that they can't even participate.
He's just in tears in the huddle. I didn't know what to do.
Teachers need tons of help.
Kids Mental Health Foundation offers educational materials to help guide conversations with our students.
It's so important that we are constantly educating ourselves.
It's the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation has free tools and information developed by experts because kids' mental health starts with all of us. Scan the QR code or check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
One call, that's all with Gruber Law Offices. Listen, I understand how dangerous it can be on the road and how nerve-wracking it can be to get into an accident. That's why you need a team that can stand behind you and help you fight the insurance companies and help for you to get exactly what you deserve. It's one call, that's all, and Gruber Law Offices will take care of the rest. And what I love about them, Truth Nation, if you never have to pay anything, you don't pay a single penny to call them, consult with them, or hire them as a law firm. You never pay a single penny until they win your case. You see the billboards, you know the slogan, but also you know the results because they speak for themselves. Get with the winning law firm today by visiting Gruber Law Offices at gruber-law.com. That is gruber-law.com, or make one call, that's all, at 414-276-6666. That's 414-276-6666. Is one call, that's all with Gruber Law Offices. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Make sure y'all watching stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube and just having a conversation talking about vaccinations, because we were discussing that vaccinations as the CDC has overhauled the childhood vaccination recommendations. This is all happened after we had the largest measles outbreak in 2025 that we've seen in 30-plus years. And I believe that everybody has a right to make their own decision on what they believe is right. I really do when it comes to this. But I also think we should be basing a lot of our decisions in facts. And so as we saw one of the largest outbreaks of measles happening last year in Texas, now to start the year, when you go down to South Carolina, there's another measles outbreak that is taking place in South Carolina. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube so you can hear the story about the measles outbreak happening in South Carolina and how it is impacting multiple states because people made a decision to be unvaccinated.
Hundreds of people quarantined now after the number of confirmed cases spikes to 111. Morgan Norwood is here with the latest. Morgan, scary stuff here. Good morning.
This is really concerning, especially as we head into the holidays. We know more people will be gathering. This morning, authorities are sounding the alarm on this as the measles outbreak down in South Carolina grows. More than 250 people, including kids, have been quarantined after being exposed. State health officials say there have been at least 111 cases since that outbreak began in early October, with 105 of those people who were unvaccinated. They say that this outbreak is accelerating with 35 new infections since early last week. And many of the new cases were actually traced to a church in Inman, South Carolina, just outside of Spartanburg. But people have also been infected at home, school, and even in a healthcare setting. 3 people, including 2 Texas school children, have died from the measles just this year. And health officials once again urging the public to make sure that they are updated on their MMR vaccinations.
And y'all gotta understand, all these country bumpkin folks who decide they don't want to be vaccinated, y'all causing wreaking havoc on other folks. This stuff done spread to multiple states. 105 unvaccinated people done messed around and got other people sick. That to me just is not right. You have the outbreak that is down in Spartanburg County down in South Carolina, grew to 310 cases over the holidays and spawned cases in North Carolina and Ohio among families that were traveling from those outbreak areas. So I'm just telling y'all this right now. It is a choice of what you want to do, but understand, y'all sat here and y'all was mad about the mask mandate. Y'all was mad about having to be at home, but now y'all sitting here re-spreading stuff. Now people got to quarantine. Your decision got you right back into 2020, 2021 because you decided that you didn't want to get vaccinated with something that has been proven to be successful. And until they actually come up with science that says that these vaccines are really causing for kids to have all these disabilities or whatever the hell they is, then y'all can't be following behind these quack doctors like RFK Jr. Y'all got to follow behind facts. That's what it should be about. We should base things based off of facts. I shouldn't be negatively impacted because of your poll decision. Now, before we get up out of here, Truth Nation, I do want to remind y'all to mark y'all calendars for Friday, February 20th for the 2nd annual Truth Community Awards. Tickets go on sale now. They're on sale now. Visit 1017theTruthAwards.com to learn more. Visit 1017truthawards.com to learn more about the Truth Community Awards. The Truth Community Awards are sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, the Milwaukee Bucks, Gruber Law Offices, Stein Hoffels, Cousin Subs in the 3rd Street Market Hall. This has been Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm your host, Kyle Wallace, here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. The Tory Lowe shows up next from 1 to 4, and I just want to tell y'all again, Make sure y'all make your own decision based off of science. Don't allow other people to lead y'all the wrong direction. I can't tell you what to do, but I'm going to recommend to y'all that y'all do y'all research and then come to whatever conclusion you have, and hopefully the conclusion is a healthy one where you're making sure everybody's safe. But this has been Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Thank y'all, Truth Nation. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow. Peace out. See y'all tomorrow.
Can you drive that monkey soul?
Come in with straight truth.
If you acted up, if you were out here doing any kind of foolishness or just something that people know would make your family's name look bad, your neighbor from down the street, if they see the son or daughter, be like, what are you doing? They gonna call you out. They gonna let you know that they saw you, and then they gonna tell you, come here. Now you know I'm gonna tell your daddy.
That part.
There are a lot of times when people are new to an area, they don't know where to plug in. And anybody who plugs in the 101.7 The Truth and listen to you and Dame and Truth Nation would know that there is a significant public outcry when violence happens in our community. Don't worry about the outcry if you're not listening to the right people. So I would encourage her to tune in to 101.7 The Truth and listen to you guys, Denise Thomas, Dr. Ken Harris, Tori Lowe, and definitely Sherwin Hughes every day.
Watch all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows by subscribing to 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
I take care of the kids.